the name is Brandon Groce. And we are the Game Changers. Designers, creatives alike. We are in a world that runs on value. Our next designs will be the shiniest. Our next animation will be the most buttery. Ladies and gentlemen, Game Changers, let the games begin. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Editor X Live with me, your host, Brandon Groce. And I'm super excited to say, first off, happy Friday. Second of all, we have an amazing session today. We're going to be talking about multi-state boxes. This is a new feature in Editor X, and today we're going to be tying it to some really cool card animations, hover effects as well. We're going to keep things simple, but very complex. With that said, I want to say hello to all of you guys in the live chat. We have Marcelo, JT, we have Emmanuel. What's going on, guys? And for the rest of you guys who are joining us, either watching the replay, do not forget to like this video, subscribe, and also hit the bell notifications so you get notified when we go live. Now, before we get started and show you guys what it is that we're going to be working on today, I do want to let you guys know, if you are brand new to Editor X, Editor X is a no-code responsive WYSIWYG platform for designers and creatives to create amazing responsive websites in minutes. You guys are going to get a little bit of a glimpse of that today. And if you guys want to sign up for Editor X for free, you guys can go down in the link in the description and start for free. If you guys want to download the assets of what we're going to be producing today, you can also find those assets in the link down in the description. And there's one more thing. Also, if you want to join our Discord with all of the amazing creatives who are also doing these walkthroughs, who are helping our community become and really just try new things in Editor X and pushing each other to create some amazing things, guys can join our Discord down below. Really the biggest thing that you guys are going to get out of there is we have amazing Editor X mentors, as well as the Editor X team and myself, to help you answer the questions that you are having in regards to Editor X and really helping you along the way when you are hitting an obstacle in your Editor X journey. So with that said, let's dive into what it is we're going to do and begin. I hit my desk, that hurt. All right, let's go ahead and move to my screen. Okay, so we are simply going to be working on a card today, but let me show you what it does. Let's go ahead and go to preview. We have some nice animations on this puppy. We have a nice little glimmer on hover, and then when we click more details, the card flips around, gives us some more options and details on the other side, and we also can click this exit button and it goes back to the other side of the card. So that is what we're going to be using multi-states for this particular project. We have two sides of a card. We also could make this a three-sided card if we wanted to, or really a card with multiple options. And we'll show you how to take this simple, this simple feature and how we're showing it to you guys and how you can expand it. So with that said, if at any time you guys have any questions about multi-state or just anything, please let us know in the live chat so I can get to your guys' questions, and let us begin. But I would love to know how you guys are today, this beautiful Friday. Any plans? All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna go back to edit site and we'll begin with that. So let me actually just break this down for you guys. So we have our multi-state box and we have two states essentially. One state is the back of the card, but we have it called state one. This time around, we're actually going to name the card and be a little bit more organized. We also have the back or the front of the card, and we have, we have the option to make more states if we wanted to. And you guys can see that if we click this multi-state box, manage states, I have the ability to duplicate states, yada, yada, yada. And, through code, which we will go over today, how I coded the interactions between the buttons that I've made here, and showing you guys how, if we wanted to, we could create more states with some of the, and more options for us. But we're going to keep it simple, two sides, and we'll go from there. I'm excited to see what you guys do with the challenges, because you guys always blow my mind with those. Okay, let's begin. So I have already created a new page here, multi-state 2. And so far I've just deleted the header, the footer, and given it our section a background. And I've basically created a grid so that we have a nice 400 by 400 pixel
square in the center here. You don't have to do that in the last website or the last page I did. I literally just dragged in a multi-state container and just, docked it to the center. What's going on, Lakshitha? What is happening? And I apologize if I butchered your name, but welcome to the chat, my friend. We are working on multi-state boxes. So all I'm going to do first is I'll show you where the multi-state boxes are in Editor X, but first thing you need to do is you need to go to your dev mode menu here, and you need to turn on dev mode. That is the only way you'll have access to the multi-state boxes. So if you don't have this, you won't be able to use it. So please do make sure, go dev mode, turn on. I already have it on. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is we're going to go to add elements. We are going to go to our I think it's embed composition. Here we go. Layout tools. We're going to go to multi-state boxes, and we're just going to pull this right in here. I'm going to go to my layout, and I want our width to be 100%. And to deal with our height, all I'm going to do is I am going to do I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to pull this to literally, I think I'm just pulling the container, so pardon me. All right, we'll just do it for the height of this. We'll do 400 px, and let's open up my panel here, because basically on the load of a multi-state box, it gives you two automatic containers. Basically what we just edited was box 2. We're gonna call this front and back, so just so from the get-go we know what's happening. And another thing we want to do is when we turn on dev mode, we have display IDs. We are going to want to turn this on, especially when we start getting to coding. And guys, we're not even going to be so much we're not even going to be coding that much today. We're literally just going to be like clicking elements, pressing a button, and like Editor X kind of takes the code for us, but I'm going to explain to you what it's doing. So I'm going to turn this on as well. And I'm also going to change the identifiers here. So we're going to call this back and front. All right. Okay. And let's go ahead and fix the heights of these multi-states. We're going to do 400 px. Same thing with our back here. All right, perfect. And I do want to make sure. All right, we're good. So we have everything in this nice little 400 by 400 pixel box. And so all I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to start designing our cards. And what we're going to do here first is I'm going to apply a grid for our front, and I'm going to do just a simple 1x3. We're going to have a spot here for our logo, space here for our title and our location. And I think down here we're going to have space for our CTA. And just in case, or just for reference, I'm going to open up a new tab so I can make sure we're doing 1-for-1 of exactly what we have done in the past. And out of curiosity, how many of you have used the multi-state cards already in the chat? What's going on, Anthony? Anthony says, I hope they add an expand option. I'm actually curious what you mean about the expansion. All right, so what we're gonna do, how did we build this? Oops, we do not want to crop that. Yep, exactly, I did a 2x3, but I don't think we need that necessarily. I think we're fine with the 1x3. First things first is we're gonna turn off the backgrounds for both of our front and back cards. We don't want backgrounds. And also turn off the background for our multi-state container. All right, sticking with front, I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna quick add image. I'm gonna expand this. I'm gonna make sure that I expand it to all 3 containers. Whoops. So from row 1 to row 3, I'm gonna change the image, and we're gonna grab this group 50 image By the way, if you guys are curious where to get these assets, again, they're in the link in the description down on our YouTube, down in this video. So if you just scroll down, go to the Dropbox link, all of the assets that you see that we're working with here, you guys have access to. Next thing, we're gonna go back to our front container and we're gonna go ahead and get some corners in here. So we're gonna do about 20 pixels to our corners. And actually, I think we're gonna have to do that to our image here. So 20, there we go. So we have some nice rounded corners on our card. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go and put in, we're gonna quick add our logo. We're just gonna grab Apple for now. We do not want to crop it. Actually, I'm inspired by Airbnb. A friend of my arm is moving. A friend of mine was talking about, what's it call it, doing short-term rentals, and I was like, you know what? I'm inspired today. I see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, Marcella says for now we have to just input 100% height and width. It will do the job. Yeah. Nicholas says, if there's time, can you touch on creating a button navigation that will let users move to the next state? Oh, that's Nicholas. That's exactly what we're doing today, or at least in part. So you have come to the right place. All right. So we have our logo here. I do want to move this little section piece down. Here we go. I'm going to dock this to our first line here. Okay. Boom. Come on, fat fingers, Brandon. Just click it. There we go. All right. We're going to go ahead and add 2 more images here. We're going to go to, boom, 3 dots, quick add. I'm going to go ahead and get our location icon. Boom. And of course, guys, there are SVGs you guys can grab from Editor X. But for now, you know, and if you can use SVGs to begin with, much better than using, and much more flexible than using the PNGs. We're currently just using PNGs because it's the quickest for me. All right, we also want to get our title in here. Boom, 3 dots, quick add, title. Drag that in place, and we're just going to type in Airbnb. Boom. All right. And actually, is this the location? Okay, we have Apple, California. Okay. Right click. Container. Yep, there we go. Quick add. We're going to grab our paragraph. My arm keeps like loving to, it's funny, guys. Every time I start leaning my hands on my keyboard, my hand is just like starts immediately going into my chest. I apologize. It's a Friday. Try not to be distracted by that. California. Perfect. We're going to set that to white. Centered. Actually, we might keep it left aligned for now. And I'm going to delete this little space that we have down here so it stays on one line. Easy day. I'm going to pair these 2 up, our California and our location icon. I'm just going to shift click both. I'm going to make sure that they're horizontally aligned, placing container. And what I do want to do is within this container, I want these elements to be horizontally aligned, and there's like a little, oh, this extra space is just the container. We don't need that. When I apply a grid, I'm going to do a 2x1 just so we can easily separate our icon and our California name. Again, this is more so for responsive purposes. I'm going to set this width to about 90%. Container we are going to set to fixed for now and pull this up. There we go. scale our California to be proper size. I'm actually going to center California and then center it in the container that it's in. I think that will help us out. There we go. And now I can center the container inside of the gridded section it's in. So horizontally align, center. And we're just gonna get our Airbnb, center align this puppy. We'll get, and now after this, then we can get to our button, and now we can start messing with the multi-states. All right, there we go. So far so good here. Now let's work on our first button, and then using, creating what it is that we need to do in order, just like Nicholas said, how to press a button and make a state switch. And for those of you who may have popped in a little early, or a little late, to show you guys what it is that we're doing today, we have the initial state, we have the more details clicked, and then the card basically reverses, or at least we've animated to make it look like that. And now we have the back side of the card. We can click the exit button and we go back to the beginning. So that's what we're doing today, just as another showcase. So up next, all we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go to our button. We're gonna grab a nice rounded start, or this is not rounded, we are going to make it rounded. We're just gonna drag this here, go to our design, go to our corners. We're just 90 pixels so it is round. We're gonna center this. Perfect. And now let's go ahead and get into what it is that we need. Well, first off, we have to design the other side. We're gonna keep it very simple. I think what I might do is literally just copy. I don't think we need today, and you guys let me know in the chat. I don't think you guys kind of came to see the multi, you know, how the multi-state works, not how to design the multi-state things. So you guys let me know in the live chat if you guys want to see how I made this, or just duplicate it and get to the multi-state. You let me know. But right now, I'm more inclined to just show you guys and kind of copy and paste these things into place. So let me go ahead and... Oh, I remember why I did this. So I'm gonna go to my container here. I'm gonna change the grid layout, advanced mode, and I am going to add a column. I'm going to stretch this. Anthony says just duplicate, cool. I am with you. All right, so all I'm gonna do here is let's go to our multi-state box. Using our breadcrumbs, we're gonna manage states, and we have our front. The back, it's not really designed. Don't really care about that. So I'm actually gonna delete this for now. And I'm gonna use our front. I'm gonna duplicate the state, and now we have the back that is an exact duplicate. I'm gonna go to my layers very quickly here, and I am going to call this the back. And we are going to go ahead and add, I guess it really doesn't matter what we add at this point. For kicks, what I'm gonna go ahead and do, so I'm gonna delete this, because now we're editing our, which one are we editing? We're editing our back. What I want to do here is, I'm just gonna go ahead and add 2 images. I'm not gonna do the full design here, guys. I'm just gonna add 2 random things, and then we're gonna get into the code. So I'm just gonna add these 2 icons, adjust them. Hey, what's going on, Kimberly? Glad to have you. Glad you can make it. You have not missed much, and even so, there is the recording. All right, so we're just gonna add these 2 images here for now. We'll refine later, but let's get into just, because the code stuff is easy, guys. I can't wait to just show you just, you know, how not difficult this is. All right, and I'm just gonna leave the padding for the left and right of these just 20 pixels, or 20%. Okay. and I'm just gonna have this say back. And increase the size of this, just so you guys know that it is the back, obviously. All right, so what we're gonna do in terms of code, let's go ahead and do this. All I'm gonna do is when our, when our dev mode is on, we get this little bar down here, and I can just essentially open it up, and all I have to do, oh, actually, I need to create the secondary button here. So I'm gonna, or the close button. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab one of these. I'm just gonna grab this. I'm gonna place this right here. And I'm going to change our design. We're gonna do background, we're gonna do black. And we're gonna do our text color, we're gonna do white. And I'm just gonna scale this down. So that's our close. And I do not want the shadow here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off, and let's get to the coding. And it's not even coding. All right, so let's go ahead and open up. Let's go to our first multi-state. Let's go to our front. Perfect. And I'm going to make sure I have these things. Hold on one second. Do we have the dev mode on? Turn dev mode off. Because what I'm looking for here, guys, is, and I'm not seeing it. I'm looking for the actual IDs. If you notice here, or actually it's not even showing up here. There should be IDs. Oh, here we go. Display, like I should have this option. And for whatever reason, I'm gonna close this for now, see if we, and refresh this, see if we get that option. Because that's important. We have to have that on in order to actually start messing with some Velo stuff. All right, let's go back to our proper page. Boom. Let's go to our layers. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna turn display IDs on. Okay, now we see the different names rather than box 25, because that's important. We want it to be the back. And just to be safe, we're gonna just call this back 0 and front 0. And this box, I'm gonna call it box or multi-state box 0, because I have other names on our other page and I don't want what we create here to mess up what we're doing here. So all I'm gonna do here is, guys, listen, I have no idea what this says. I don't care what this says. All I'm going to do is just enter underneath, and what I care about is what is over here. Essentially, this is all I want to do. I'm going to select this element, which is going to be the thing that we're trying to trigger. So I'm going to click this. It shows me here the ID is button 1. The event handler that I want is on click. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I don't even know what it's doing, guys. It's basically just saying, all I'm doing in plain English is saying, hey, I've clicked this element. I want you to do something with this element. And when I've clicked it, and basically that's what I've done. So I'm going to click this add event, and it adds an event to the in code here, essentially. And now basically this says, hey, we've created this function. Please add whatever you want to happen when this button is clicked. Add that here. And so what we're going to go ahead and add, again, I am going to duplicate this page because I'm essentially going to copy and paste what we are going to use in terms of code. All right, let's go to okay. So all we want here, and it's one line. All we're doing is saying, hey, on the more details, let me go to the right state here. Let me pull this down. When more details is clicked, please make sure that the multi-state box 1 changes state to box 15. So what this does is more details, when it is clicked, it changes the multi-state box, this one, and let me display IDs here. It changes the state of multi-state box 1 to the 15, which is our back of the card. So that's all we're gonna do here. I'm literally just going to copy this line. I'm going to place it here in between. Oops, edit code, please. In between what our click event has created for us. Now what we need to do is we need to change the actual, this is why there's a red line here. There, EditorX is like, there's nothing on this page called this. So we need to make a variable change. So we're gonna do multi-state box. And on this page, it's multi-state box 0, right here. And we're gonna change the state, not to box 15, but from front to back 0. And I'm just gonna type that. Back 0. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. Let me minimize this. Let me click this. Boom. And so that wasn't sexy. It literally, it did exactly what we wanted it to do. It went to the back, and now we're just gonna do the front. We're gonna go to edit site again. This time we are going to click on the back. And just like we did with this, we're gonna just enter here. We're gonna click on our close button. Go to on click. We wanna add this event to our lines of code. Awesome, we have another event. I'm gonna copy this line of code, and essentially we're just going to do the reverse. When this close button is clicked, we want the multi-state box to change back to state, not back 0, we're on back 0. We want it to be front 0. So again, guys, what we're doing today is a basic fundamental version of the possibilities of click events in using multi-state boxes. So my main goal for you guys here is to understand this is how you get the switches to happen. Boom, boom. Like good day. Honestly, the tutorial is done. But if we go back to this, right? Once you have the understandings of what is produced, then you can add complexity. For example, I added a hover event on the card, so there's a nice little shine to it when the more details is hovered. We click it. We added animations so that the card actually flips when those buttons are clicked. None of this is code. The only thing that's coded are those 2 buttons. So let's talk about, getting to the fidelity that we have there. And also, if you guys are feeling good, why did my hand just do that? If you guys enjoyed this, Nicholas in the chat says, wow, this is so simple. It really is, it just takes a little bit of breaking down, and everything in EditorX is simple. It's just, it needs to be broken down into, very simple, minimal steps. And then that way you guys can, as you learn, you can stack simple things to become complex. So let's go ahead and start animating these things. I'm going to start with our logo here. I'm just going to do let's do a fade in. Let's do a float in. Let's customize that. I want it to come not from the right, but from the bottom. Lakshitha is like, this is awesome. Nicholas is saying the fundamentals can easily be applied to a slideshow, and this can act as a navigation arrows to proceed to the next. Exactly. There's like once you have the fundamentals and you understand, like, oh, you're basically just telling EditorX, when I click this thing, please do this other thing in this other state. And honestly, we can make like tons of different states with one card and make a whole bunch of different buttons and make those different buttons go to the different states of of the card. There's a million things that you guys can do with this. So let's go ahead and just, let's add some flair since we have some time. But I would love to know in the chat, was this helpful? Has this been helpful? And if it has been, please don't forget to like this video, hit the notification bell, because we're here every single, really every month creating content for EditorX. And if you want more help in EditorX, obviously come to more of these. But if you guys want more help, things of that nature, we have the EditorX mentors, myself and the EditorX team in our Discord. I'm helping you along the way with what you need every day of the week, literally. So Let's go ahead and add more of our animations. We're going to do our float in. Again, customize from the bottom. And in the Discord, like the main thing there is we try to get to your questions within 20 minutes minimum. Unless it's like Saturday or Sunday. It's, you know, it's the weekend, guys. All right, float in. Again, from the bottom. And again, float in from the bottom. Customize from the bottom. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of a cascading effect. We don't want them to all animate in at once. So we're gonna do a delay of 0, perfect. We're gonna do a delay of about, let's do 0.1. We'll do 0.1, we'll start with that. No, we'll do 0.2. I'm like really trying to, there we go. 0.2, container, customize, we'll do 0.3 or 0.4. Good, and we'll do 0.6 here. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like. Boom, 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 very nice. And now what we can do is we're gonna do the exact same thing to our back here. Animate, float in from the bottom. Airbnb, float in from the bottom. I'm gonna do the 0.2. This will be 0.4. And these two, I'm just gonna go ahead and add into a container so I can animate them together. From the bottom, and 0.6. Perfect. I'm also going to animate this as well from the bottom. Float in from bottom, and we're gonna do a 0.2 delay. Perfect. So let's go to our front again. And now let's go to preview. So we get our nice little animation. Boom. Very nice. All right, so California, we need to edit from the back. JT says, this was very helpful. You simplified the process so much. I am glad. That's what this is all about, my friends. You know, and if there's anything else that you guys would want us to, you know, this is week 1 of our challenges. And if you guys are new to these or our walkthroughs, if you guys want to practice a little bit more, what we're doing in our Discord is each one of these walkthroughs challenges, why we give you guys the assets to really try this out yourself is when you guys submit it in our Discord, we'll talk about that towards the end of today's challenge, or our walkthrough. We're giving out free swag to those who are submitting their work for these walkthroughs. If you guys want to, you know, practice and see what you can make with, you know, what we're teaching today, it doesn't have to use the exact same assets, but if something you're working on, you want to use and practice multi-states, you know, show us what you're doing in our Discord, submit it. But there's a certain way we want you guys to submit it. But at the end of next week, we're choosing winners to receive free Editor X swag. Last month, there was 2 winners, got some amazing hoodies, water bottles, socks, stickers, and some really cool things. So let me know if you guys want to hear more about that. And with that, I really kind of want to finish this all the way. I want to add a little bit more spice to it. But there we go. We have our nice little animations here. I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm gonna add that one little more spice to this, guys, and then you guys will leave beautifully awakened, hopefully. So one thing I want to do is on our front, right? I want to add a little bit of a hover animation. So I'm gonna go to interactions. I'm gonna select start now. Or actually, before I do that, I need to add another image here to our container. Change image. I'm gonna go ahead and grab our linear gradient PNG, and I'm gonna scale this puppy pretty largely. All right, I'm gonna place this right here, and I'm gonna use my arrow keys to move this. The reason why I am not using my mouse is if I try to move this with my arrow keys, Editor X will try to basically push this image inside of the section. We don't want that. We want it to stay inside of the front. Okay, so we have this where we want. We are going to place this in a container. And we are going to make this container the same size as our front. Actually, let me try this. This is how I built it before, but maybe what I can do here is we go to here, overflow, hide. There we go. And we're going to set this to like 31 pixels. And of course, I could have done like a way better export so there was not a hard line on this, but you know, for right now, concept. Let's take the concept. So now let's go ahead and, did this mess up our grids? I think it did. That's a shame if it did. All right, let me Control X this. All right. Let me try to push this again with my arrow keys. Oh, why does it mess up the... Okay. Let me try to scale this down. Right here. Okay. All right. Opacity. Turn that down. We're going to start it at 40, 45, 46 opacity. And now we're going to go back to our button here. I do want our button above this image because we don't want the image blocking the button from hover. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to our interactions, add trigger. We're going to do hover. Now, the affected element, we do not want anything to affect the button. We're trying to affect that little ray that we made over here. So choose it on canvas. I'm going to select my little ray over here. I've selected my target. I'm going to hit done. I want to apply an effect. And now we're going to select. We could do our preset ones, but we're going to go ahead and make a custom. We're going to call this shine. And now I can set what I want to have happen when our button is hovered on. So all I'm going to do is I want our initial state, this shine, to go from here all the way to the other side of the card, just like this. And I want the opacity to drop to about 20%. Oh, you know what? Wrong opacity. This opacity, the image opacity, we want it to drop to 20%. We're going to click done. We're going to go back to triggers on our start here. So we have our hover, add interactions. We're going to select, choose on canvas, this, boom, hit done, select effect, shine, the one that we just made. We're going to go ahead and hit done. And now let's go ahead and preview this. Something did happen to our little corners here. Don't know what that is. But this is kind of where we're going to have to play with this little shine here. As you guys can see, there's a little bit of a crop happening here. And I would like to go in and kind of, oh, this is what happened. This is why I did the secondary container, because it messed up this front container here. So what I would recommend is exactly what I did for our the first iteration of this. This is why it didn't, you know, having everything in the same box did not work. So if we go to box 1, I made this image, I made its own container so it didn't mess up the container of basically our state container. So when we preview it, when I hover over more details, the shine has its own container box and doesn't mess up anything. Like, we still have our rounded corners. So I highly recommend doing what I did here. And you can see that we have this container, or excuse me, this is the state one box. We have our button, we have our main container with all our assets in it, with our image, or excuse me, what is this? This is our shine, sorry. Let me just name it like that for right now. We have our shine over top of our container that has really all of our other assets in it. Or, guys, the coffee's not hitting me. Okay, this is it. State box, button is on top. Shine is underneath of our button. Our container for our location and everything else, the Apple image and the actual card background, is underneath everything. And we're basically just saying, hey, when button is hovered, again, we did the same thing we did here. When it's hovered, please apply shine on this image, which is over here. And when we preview it, we get this effect, and it goes from 45% image opacity to about 20 to 0%. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me undo the ugliness that I did in this last section here. Concept stays the same, but you are going to need to put this hover animation in its own container. But that is it for right now, ladies and gentlemen. So what I am excited to see from you guys in our Discord is, first off, when you're doing this, when you're done, go to and publish your site. And let me go ahead and make sure that we have the right page here. I'm gonna click this, I'm gonna make the set as homepage, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and publish. View site. And here we go. Once you're done, take the URL, go to the Discord, which is right here. And all you're going to do is, this is our submission format. Your name, the challenge name, and your URL. You're just gonna grab that, go to our challenge section, plop this right here, and I will be the first for today. Brandon Groce, challenge number 5. Today is multi-state. And we're gonna go ahead and grab our URL. Just like that. Blow. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out both of yesterday's challenge submissions. We have Gabriel and Kim yet again. I saw this yesterday. So yesterday's challenge was parallax. And Gabriel, I saw this on mobile, and this was actually really dope, the way that you used sticky. Very nice job. Again, very cute, very minimal. Love the actual looping background that you have here. And ooh, unleash your potential. Ooh, by challenging yourself. Very nice. Kim Design Challenge 4. Create something extraordinary. And this is all this stuff is popping up from me scrolling, guys. This is beautiful. Excellent job using sticky. I love the very clean background and the parallax that you used. Beautiful work, guys. So that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get started at edX, you can join for free down in the description. You can go to edX.com. You can download the asset files for what it is that we did today in the link below via our Dropbox. And also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join our challenges and our walkthroughs on a regular basis. If you have questions, join our Discord, and we'll make sure to answer your questions in a timely fashion. Because we have a lot of mentors, help, and creative individuals there. So I want to thank you all for hanging out. JT, Lakshitha, and Nicholas, Anthony, Kimberly, Manuel, and Marcelo. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. Peace. Dope responsive websites